I'm Jean Marie Herron, Certified Professional Organizer. Welcome to POSSE, productivity and organizing solutions serving everyone in your home office, or virtual. If you want to see my organizing and productivity classes and videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button. All right, I have 12:31 and I like to be prompt because that's who I am. So welcome everybody to POSSE's Pen. And our theme this month is Let's Play Goalie, how to win the time management game with your New Year's resolutions. And I'll say New Year's resolutions with an aside to any goal, any affirmation, any time of the year. It doesn't have to be for New Year's. Okay. But what I am going to teach you today is how to habitualize your New Year's resolutions if that's what you want to do. So we have a lot of people on the call, but for anybody who doesn't know who I am, my name is Jean Marie Herron, and I'm a certified professional organizer. I've owned and managed a company called POSSE Partners since 2005, and I specialize in both residential organizing and workplace productivity. So welcome to our pen. Things on housekeeping and our agenda for today. I am currently recording the pen. And everybody is muted. And when I get to the Q&A section, I will have you all unmute yourself so you can speak. In the meantime, if you have any questions while I go through the presentation, please feel free to use the chat box, type it right in there. And Deborah, my assistant, will be managing the chat box. So today is our new format. So as most of you know, POSSE's Pen is something I do once a month. It's a gratis Zoom call, and I change the topics between residential organizing and productivity. And we're moving it to 12:30 this year. And it's usually the third Wednesday of the month. But this third Wednesday of the month, there was something called the presidential inauguration. And I thought it would behoove us if we moved it to Friday, which is today. So thank you for your flexibility. And we're going to go over goals today. And then next month on the 17th, we're going to have a theme called Love Your Memorabilia. And as we finish our presentation, we will open it up to Ask the Organizer, and then we will close. So here we go. I hope you're ready to learn something. So I wanted to open up this particular presentation with some goal statistics. You know, it's one thing if, you know, little Jean Marie Herron from North Jersey tells you it's really, really important that you write down your goals. And it's another thing if a Harvard business study tells you, wow, it's really powerful if you write down your goals. So this is an older study, but I feel like it's still relevant. You can Google it. It's all over the internet. But what this study found was based on the population that it surveyed was that 83% of folks do not have any plan in mind relative to goals. So 83% of the population just kind of lives day in, day out. And then there was 14% who had a goal in mind, but didn't actually write it down. And then there was the 3% who not only had goals in mind, but they physically wrote them down. And this business study revealed some really interesting findings, which were that of the 14% that had a plan in mind, but didn't even write them down, they were 10 times more successful at achieving their goals. And then the 3%, I held up two, meant to hold up three fingers. And then the 3% that physically took the time to write them down were 3 times more successful than that 14% who were 10 times more successful. So I'm thinking those are pretty good odds. So today, what I'm hoping to encourage you to do would be not only learn how to write goals, which I'm going to tell you how to do that, but to also write mission statements and to also learn how to time block. So that's what we're going to do today. So for the sake of today's presentation, I want you to pretend that you are this goalie, and your job for 2021 or for the rest of your life is to protect your goals. And that net back there, that's your time management. So we want to protect your time so that you can develop and write down all your action steps that are going to bring you forward toward your goal. So today, you are the goalie. But before we write the goals, I want you to think about the big why in your life. And what I mean by that is, as we're writing our goals, I want you to connect the big why in your life as to why you even want to write them down. So Why would you want that promotion? Why would you want to lose 50 pounds? Why would you want to travel to Machu Picchu? Why would you want to adopt a dog? Why would you want to break 6 figures this year? These are all very personal, deep thinking questions, but I believe that if we can answer the big why we want to do something in our life, it's going to be easier to get to the what we want to do. So kind of hold that thought in your mind. And what I want to share with you next is my own personal mission statement for my business. And I have mission statements. A lot of people don't, and that's okay. But I would also encourage you today to think about your mission statement, whether it's for your business, personal, financial, health and wellness, spiritual, family, marriage. Because if we can, again, connect the big why to the what, it's going to be easier for us. So why do you want to achieve the goals that you want to create? So here is my mission statement. I didn't create this in one sitting. I probably started with something else back in 2005, but over the years, I have honed this mission statement for POSSE. So when somebody asks me, Jean Marie, what do you want to do in your business? I actually tell them, I want to improve the quality, peace, and performance of people's lives through the transference of organizing and productivity skills. And that's why I wake up every morning. That's what I do every day at POSSE. I probably do it outside of POSSE as well. But for me, that's what I was created to do. So if I'm going to do anything in my business, whether it's, give a Zoom call, write a blog, be with a private client, I'm all about improving the quality of their life, their peace, their performance, and transferring the skill from me to them. So you could say, well, that's kind of your big why or your big what, but I could go even deeper. And I tend to share a lot of personal information because I believe that if I share with you, you'll share with me. So if I went even deeper into this why, I would tell you that for whatever reason, in my heart of hearts, this is the talent that God gave me. So this is what he showed me when I was 40 years old and my children were 5 and 3. This is what he told me to do. And I've done it ever since. So that's my why. That's why I'm here. And this is my mission statement. So I will encourage you at some time when you're not on this call to sit down in front of, the fireplace or on the couch and think about what you want your mission statements to be. And they can be in whatever life category you choose. Some of us have businesses, some of us don't. But it'll help you answer the why to the goals that you want to create. So speaking about the goals that you want to create, this is a productivity tool I love to give out to people. I call it a SMART goal worksheet. And as you fill it out, it will really help you get clear, focus, and develop actionable steps that you can take to achieve your goal. I'm not the person who invented the SMART acronym. Those of you who know me well know I love acronyms. Even my business is an acronym. But SMART does stand for something specific. And I'm going to go through each one of these acronym letters with you, and I'm going to give you an example. So a colleague of mine, I overheard her say that she wanted to read 21 books in 2021. And I think that's kind of a great goal generically, whether it's professional or personal or both. So I'm going to take you through SMART with the goal that my client gave me, and I'm going to pretend it's me. And so what I did was I took my SMART goal worksheet and I actually filled everything out as if this was my goal. So S is for specific. So a goal should be linked to one thought, one activity, one idea. So if you have a lot of goals in mind, please use one worksheet per goal. So I already mentioned it's specific enough. I will read 21 books in 2021. M is for measurable. So in your SMART goal worksheet, you want to be able to track your progress. You want to be able to make sure that you can measure your steps to help you get to the goal you desire. So in this box, what I wrote was, I will write and keep a bulleted list on my phone with the book titles and check them off as I complete them. That's pretty measurable. And then we get to A,
Can I jump
which is
in for a second?
Sure.
I see people maybe scrambling to write notes, but I did put a link to this worksheet in the chat. So it's a PDF, you can download it and print it instead of trying to replicate what she has on the screen.
Yes, thank you, Deb. So you'll all get this. The other thing, I do record these, and I'll tell you more about it at the end, but you can always rewatch this if you want as well. Okay, so we were talking about our SMART goal worksheet, and we were up to A for actionable and achievable. And when you do your SMART goals, you want to make sure that you have clear actions, as I mentioned before, to move you forward. But here's where you say to yourself, what am I actually going to do to read the 21 books in 2021? So I wrote, I will go to my local library and I will take out 2 books per month, and I will read nightly, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. And don't laugh at me yet, okay? Because we're not done. So you're probably all thinking, that's crazy. Hear me out. All right, so now we're going to go to R, which really is for relevant and realistic. What's really important to me with the R is, why is this important to my life right now? And is it possible to achieve? So in the column where we have R and it says relevant and realistic, I would love to add real to your heart and mind. So I was talking to you before about really thinking about your big why. And here to me under R is where that big why would come in. So here's what I wrote under R. I will replace my leisure screen time, TV, social media, streaming with reading, so as to put the information of my choice into my head. This will help me reduce stress and anxiety, as well as help me stay on top of my industry. So what I'm really trying to do here is I want to make sure that this goal is relevant, it's realistic, and it's real to my heart and mind. And our last letter is T for making it time bound. And I'm sure everybody's heard, if you don't give a goal a deadline, they'll call it, well, then it's a dream, it's a wish, it's a desire. But when we actually write down the date that we want to have something done by, it kind of makes it more concrete. It kind of makes it more resolute, which is, people call them New Year's resolutions. And some people think that's harsh. Maybe they should be New Year intentions. But if you want to put a little pressure on yourself, you're going to give yourself a deadline. So whether it's 1 month, 1 year, you've got a 10-year out goal, it doesn't matter. But on a SMART goal worksheet, you really should put a date specific time. So I put December 15th of 2021. And here's why I said that under time bound, because if you take 21 books and you divide it by 12 months of the year, it comes out to I should be reading 1.75 books per month. So just about 2 books a month. And I wanted to leave a couple weeks for holiday time. So I wanted to say, well, I'll finish it by, mid-December, so I have time for the holidays. So in a nutshell, that is your SMART goal worksheet. It should work with anything you do. So what I've spoken about so far is your big why. And now this is your what, all right? And you're going to attach your what to your why. And there's one more W I have to tell you about. So if we know why we want to do something and we know what we want to do, then the next big W is we have to figure out when we're going to do it. So this is the clincher for today. We want to schedule the time with our action steps off of our goal worksheet, because this is what's actually going to protect your goals. This is what's going to protect your time. So whether you use iCal, Google, a paper planner, it doesn't matter what you use to schedule your time. But what you have to do is you have to take what you said you were going to do and you have to block out the time. So in this example, I had said that Monday to Friday, I was going to read 7 to 9 p.m. So you would have to go to your calendar and you would have to block it out. There's something else called a time app that I do for a lot of clients. And it's a simple spreadsheet. It has the 7 days of the week on the top, and it has the time you want to wake up to the time you want to go to bed down the left-hand column. And you could also map or track all your goals there. You could overlay your regular schedule over there, but it kind of gives you a nice blank canvas to start with. So this is what all of our lives look like when we were born, you know, this like blank time map. And the reason why I call it my perfect week is because we know there's no perfection, you know, nobody's got the perfect schedule. But if you fill this out and then you look at what you say you really want to do and when you want to do it, and you compare it to what you're really doing and when you're really doing it, it's a nice little exercise in productivity. So I encourage you all to take your worksheet, figure out when in your schedule you're going to plot your goals. You're going to protect them by putting them there. And that's how, you know, you're going to habitualize things. So in order for you to turn anything into a routine or a habit, the first thing you have to do is schedule it. So my favorite productivity tools for protection, I just gave you my top 3. But here are some other things that will help you solidify what you want to do, help encourage you, motivate you, remind you. Affirmations, meditations, vision boards, screensavers. You could take the 21 book titles and throw it up on your screensaver. Post-its, digital reminders. You know, you could take a Post-it and put it up on your bathroom mirror and it could say, I can't wait to read tonight. You know, you could set a digital reminder at 6:50 p.m. and it goes off and you're like, oh, I got 10 minutes till reading time. So these are just other helpful tools in order to protect your goals, right? Because remember, you're playing goalie today. That's what we're doing. We are playing goalie. We are protecting our goals. We know what, we know why, and we know when, all right? So that's how you habitualize your New Year's resolutions and you make them happen. It sounds really easy, doesn't it? I make it sound really easy. It's not, and you know this. It's not easy. 1, 2, 3, I can tell you, mission statements, SMART goals, and time blocking, done. But for us to actually fulfill this, we're talking hours of our time, hours of our brain work. So, but if you really want to do it and you want to be the best goalie you can be for your life goals, you'll do it. Okay. All right. This is what I taught you today. In my quick little presentation, I taught you how to do a mission statement, how to work with a SMART goal, and how to time block. So I want to make sure I get to Q&A here. So I just wanted to mention, for those of you who might really feel a loss in terms of your own time management, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels, I do have a pre-recorded webinar, which I've done about 2 weeks ago, called My Perfect Week, which teaches you exactly how to set up your own time map. And I listened to it again this week. It's still very relevant. So I think Deb's going to put the link in the chat box if you're interested. But what I'd also like to ask you is if you would like this class and for me to add more details about SMART goals and mission statements, maybe I would consider doing another webinar in March or so. So if you think that's something you would like, just put it in the chat box. Okay. So next month we have Love Your Memorabilia, February 17th at 12:30. And I'm going to actually, instead of telling you how to register here, I'm going to show you. So I am going to stop sharing here and show you how to do this. So now I'm going to do another screen share. And I'm going to take you to my website because I wanted to show you something. Whoops, hang on 1 second. Stop share. Oh, maybe I have to back out of that yet first. So this is where you have to, pardon me for 60 seconds while Jean Marie learns how to, yep, I'm trying to get out of my presentation. So I did
the escape key, I believe.
I am. Yeah, I'm pressing it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not working. So what I was going to do was I was going to bring you to my website, so I'll just tell you about it. So if you're interested in the next POSSE's pen, I always have it on my speaking page on my website. You can also find the registration link in my monthly e-zine. Oh, Deb went to it. See, this is why she's a virtual assistant and I am just a professional organizer. So on my website, which is POSSEPartnersLLC.com, under presentations, this is how you find the POSSE's pen. And then there's a green button. It's cut off a little bit on my screen. Please register to attend. So you can do that. And then if she goes to my home page, I'm going to ask you to go to my home page, Deb. Okay, so this is my homepage. If you scroll down to the middle, for those of you who are not on my monthly e-zine, there's a spot right here. If you want to, if you're not already on my e-zine, to sign up. I write everything myself. I do it once a month. It's original content, and that also has the link for the next POSSE's pen. And then on the very bottom, most of you know I'm not a big social media person, but I'm trying to move into this virtual world. So I have a Facebook page, LinkedIn would be Jean Marie Herron, and now all these recordings that I've done when I started POSSE's Pen last March 2020, they're all here on YouTube. So if you ever want to see a past recording or you ever miss a recording, it's right there on YouTube. Okay, so Deb just went to my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's it. So the only other thing is a Google review. If you've ever had a fantastic experience with me, if you want to give me a Google review, it would be much appreciated. But now I really want to move into Q&A. So Deb's gonna come out of this completely, and we're gonna go back to the Brady Bunch. And if you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, let's go.
Hi.
Ann.
Yeah, I just was wondering on the YouTube, because I would like to watch some of the different videos. What do I put in the YouTube for the search? I search for Jean Marie or for Posse?
The easiest thing to do with the YouTube channel, because it's like a funky address, is go to my homepage, go to my website, and in the very top right of my website, there's a YouTube icon, the little arrow. Just press that and it'll take you right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so goals, mission statements, time blocking. Are there any questions in the chat, Deb? You're muted.
Not right now.
Okay. All right, so did I overwhelm everybody or did I make it easy?
Betty has a question. A follow-up on this in March would be great. Ooh, accountability.
So Betty, you can unmute yourself. What do you mean by a follow-up? Like, what exactly would you like to see?
I'm wondering if everybody who's here is interested, as you know I am, in these SMART goals, and would actually commit to doing SMART goals 1 or 2. Could be on the professional side. Maybe that would be best. And bring it to the class, and we can review it and see if people are on target. So being accountable to what we've learned here and reviewing it with you and seeing how the time management works, because that's the thing that is, I would say, hardest for me. I think I can write the goals down and do all the steps. I love SMART goals. And I'm glad you brought me back to them because I haven't done them in a while like that. But the blocks of time or setting them up so that you reach, you know what I mean? I thought a follow-up meeting like that would be good if it could make sense. I don't know, there's a lot of us here, but.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask my Hollywood Squares to do. If you are interested in fleshing this out more, there's a little reaction button down on the bottom of your screen. And if you press it, there's a thumbs up. Some of you might even have a yes. I don't know. I think it depends. So, yeah, okay. So, all right. So if you would like this oh, wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right.
It's just that you're extraordinary at communicating this. I don't know if everybody would feel that way. And yes, I will write that Google review. So sorry, I'm behind schedule on that. See, I fell behind schedule on that. So it would just be helpful, especially, the accountability and time framing and seeing if everybody really is connected with what you had to say. So
if I did that, I would need a couple of volunteers who would actually do a goal worksheet for me and fill it out. And then we can have a very interactive experience sharing. And then we can put, a time mapping and a time blocking together. But I'd want to have somebody else's goals because I want to make it real. Like, I want somebody's real life goal. And you don't have to tell me now, but send me a private email if you were willing to share your SMART goal. And then what I can do is I can do it all on, time mapping.
Jean Marie, in the comments, we do have, Robin noted, time management is so hard to be consistent. That is one thing. I think we all, like when you said you're going to read for 2 hours a night, well,
right,
there's always something that comes up. So
great. So I'd love to, okay. So that might be perfect for, the COVID person who's now sitting home 7 nights a week. So it might be realistic for somebody to do that Monday to Friday, 7 to 9. For somebody else, they might say, well, you know what, I've got an association meeting on this night. I got a Zoom call for family on this night. So the idea would be to time estimate what you think it's going to take in terms of your action steps, and then figure out in your planner of time where you're going to do it. So using that same goal as an example, maybe it's, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 to 9, but Saturday and Sunday mornings, or, a couple mornings a week. What's more important is that you know what you want and how much time you think those action steps are going to take you, and then looking at the reality of your calendar and figuring out where it's going to go. So, I use that as a very simple example, but we are all, even now, we're all very, I hate to use the word overscheduled, but we can be, because we live in a world of opportunity overload. Yesterday, and it's been a while, but yesterday I was on 6 Zoom calls, 6. and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, but that's an aside. So the trying to be consistent with the time management. So a couple of pointers on that one is, number one, making sure you're planning your day and making sure that you're actually using a planner, whether paper or electronic. And actually, the night before, going through your whole day the next day, or the morning of, and then maybe even on a Saturday or a Sunday, sitting down with some quiet time with that calendar, with that planner. And I call it Sunday sanity. And you look at your whole week ahead, and same thing, you plan out the whole week. Now, since we're talking about goals today, goals are something extra. We're already busy enough, right? Our calendars are already busy, but now we're saying, well, I want to do this. And when I want to do this, this is going to add to my existing schedule. So now I have to find the time. So where's it going to fit? But remaining consistent in the time management is really all about the discipline of strategic planning. And again, whether, it could be, I look at my planner in the morning, and I look at my planner at night. I look at my planner on Sunday for the whole week. And at the end of the month, I look at my planner for the whole next month. So it's really dedicated time to stop and look at your time and say, is this going to work? And having you decide, forever people have been calling it time management and productivity. I often like to call it choice management, because we are the keepers of our schedule, and we decide when we want to do things. And if we don't like the way we're doing things, then hopefully we have the opportunity to change them. I mean, we do have certain commitments, I'm sure, in our lives, and people that we're responsible to and accountable for. But for the most part, we can open up our calendars and decide. Was that helpful, Robin?
It is, but so some of my things were, okay, so I'm gonna, from 9 to 10, what was I going to do? I had something specific, like from 9 to 10, either I was going to reach out to clients or make calls. And then from 11, 12, I was going to do something else like that, building my business in some way. Yeah. So those were actually just 2 time slots that I put together. And then I figured in the afternoon, I would do client work and things like that. But just, something would come up, and I'm like, yeah, I did this great for 2 days. And then I was like, oh, brother. So I'm like, how does Jean Marie do this?
So, and Robin's a realtor. So as a realtor, kind of like a doctor, your life can probably in what I call crisis mode, So because, you're so, client centric. So even though you wrote it down, and even though you knew, okay, it's not going to work now, I got bumped, another priority came up, it's still on your list. And at the end of the day, you still have an opportunity to look at it and say, okay, I didn't get to this. So I'm going to ask myself, if not now, when? Is it still important? And if it is, I have to move it. I have to roll it over somewhere. people use their planners many, many different ways. So there's the appointments, which are your scheduled commitments. And then in between the appointments, there's the white space. And in the white space, you can write the tasks and to-dos. Like, let's say you wanted to send a personal note to somebody, and, you know, you said you wrote that on your, to-do list. And at the end of the day, you realize I didn't get to this. So now you have an opportunity to write it now, move it over. But I think I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole because I know what I want to say in my head. If you have a really high pressured career or job, or you just put the pressure on yourself, there's the things that you must do and that you did do, but there's always an opportunity list. And what I mean by that is probably what is falling through the cracks is not the high priorities. I mean, it is a priority to send somebody a personal notes, but it's more of an opportunity. So you could split your planner when you're writing things down and time blocking. You can have a whole section that says, this is what I'd really like to get to, but if I don't get to them, it's an opportunity for another day. Because I don't know about everybody on this call, but there's things in my planner every day that I don't get to. I do try to get to them, and I get to my priorities. I get to my top priorities, but I often have to reschedule things. So hopefully that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jean Marie, we have a question about how to do a Google review. So in the header and the footer of the website, there's a link with her Google review page, and it should just open up a window for you to give X amount of stars and leave some feedback, some comments. So it should be easy to get to from her website page, the header or the footer.
So we're a little after 1 o'clock. I'm happy to stay on if anybody has any more questions, but please feel free. If you time blocked this from 12:30 to 1 and you have something else to do or need to do, I won't feel bad. Yeah. So, but if there's any more questions, please feel free to ask.
Jean Marie, can I speak, or do I need to put it in the block?
No, you're fine.
Okay. How do you charge, what are your services as far as organization? I'm really like time management, that kind of stuff.
What are my services?
Yeah. What type of programs do you have? Do you have like individual?
Yes. So I kind of run my workplace productivity very similar to my residential organizing. We start with a phone call, we start with an inquiry, we make sure that we're a good fit for each other. In residential organizing, I would do an assessment ahead of time. We don't need to do that with time management. I would do a detailed assessment on the phone of what we think your needs are. I would ask you all kinds of pertinent questions about what tools you use, like what's in your home office. Do you just have a home office? Do you also have a satellite unit? Where are you located? What equipment do you have? But basically, in terms of what time management tools do you use? I know in your case, you probably have, a CRM. So I'm not sure, what you use. And then I have to figure out what is it you're looking for from me? Like, what's your goal? Like, what are you struggling with? What's working with you? What's not? And then probably we would set up either a 2 or 3 hour time block. Most cases in your situation, it would be a 2-hour time block. And the first thing I would actually suggest, and I think you actually might have seen me do this several years ago at Buffini, at the quarterly Buffini meeting, but doing a time map is an incredible productivity exercise, because then Robin is saying what Robin wants to do and when she wants to do it. And then that becomes kind of the backdrop to what's actually happening. And then it becomes a choice and a give and take. And what is the reality of your time, the truthful reality, and whether or not your time estimates are correct, if you're actually, okay. So that's, and that's almost an exercise in itself. I see some blanks there. Some people don't know what the heck we're talking about, but I know Robin does. So, if you put on in your plan, if I put in my planner, it's time for me to write my newsletter, and I block out 1 hour, I'm going to write that newsletter in 1 hour. If I block out 2 hours, it's going to take me 2 hours to write that newsletter. All right, so we're going to expand or contract our energy based on the time we allotted. But what we can learn is if we watch our time estimates, and let's say you didn't give yourself a time estimate for the newsletter and you timed yourself and it took you 90 minutes to write that blog. And that was the reality. We now know, okay, it's probably 90 minutes. So when we time block next month, we're going to put 90 minutes. And you can do that with all kinds of tasks to figure out exactly how much time it takes you. It's as simple as saying, somebody's morning routine. When I say to somebody, what time do you want to start work? And then we go through the exercise of what is everything they want to accomplish before they actually open up the office door. One person might literally only need 20 minutes to get ready, and another person needs 2 hours. So it's really getting very truthful about yourself, and all that comes out in time mapping, because it's a brain spill. It's your entire life that comes out. I do it with Post-its. It's fun. And then we get to manage the Post-its, because time management is one of those things that you can't see. It's so easy to organize a closet because you can touch and feel the shirts, the ties, the shoes, and you visually see it being moved and decluttered. Well, if we want to declutter your psychic debris, if you will, your cluttered calendar, the first thing I do is I make it visual. And once I make it visual, then I can move it around so that it fits in your 24/7. So that's what I do when I do a time map.
Okay.
All right. I need smiles. Come on, everybody.
We're soaking it in.
I know. I didn't.
Oh, our heads are spinning.
All right, three things: mission statements, goal worksheets, and time blocking. So think about what you want to do. Think about why you want to do it, and think about when you're going to do it. Boom. Start small. All right. I'm trying to think of a really small goal right now. Nothing's coming to my head. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Oh my goodness. I don't know if there's any men on the call, but we ladies, whatever, what a year. All right. I know a lot of you. You know a lot of me. 2020 was unbelievable. All right. Our hope is that 2021 will be a lot different. So I am not here to say, I'm not here to put any pressure on you. Please don't put extra pressure on yourself. Go slowly. Maybe all of our goals should be self-care related this year, All right. On that note, since you're all quiet, I think we're going to end the meeting.
Thanks, Jean Marie.
You're very welcome. So I hope to see you all at.
Thank you, Jean Marie. Great meeting. So
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. Good
You're
to see
welcome.
you.
Good
You're
Friday.
welcome.
Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Remember, if you want to see more organizing and productivity videos created by Posse, hit the subscribe button and you'll be alerted when the next one is ready.